want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to my sponsor, P2 Collectibles, located at 204 East McGalliard Road in Muncie and on eBay as well. So next time you're here in Muncie, let us know. Come give us a visit. Hey, what is up, y'all? This is Alex from Plus for TCG, and I'm coming at y'all with an updated version of Super Heavies with a little bit of a twist. As you can see, I am playing Super Heavy Samurai Daihachi in my Super Heavies right now. And if you play Super Heavies, you know we don't have this card yet. This has been in the OCG for a bit now, and honestly, we don't know when this card is coming out, but this deck profile is to show you what this deck would look like if we were to have it in the TCG. This is something that the OCG can play right now, but one day we will be able to play this because we'll get this and one card in the extra deck, as you'll see later. So without further ado, let's hop right into this. First off, we are playing the best card in the deck, three of them. 3 Super Heavy Samurai Daihachi. What this card does is when it's normal summoned, it immediately can switch its battle position, and then its second effect is it can switch from defense to attack position to add a Super Heavy Samurai Soul card. That's pretty relevant, but ideally you could add any Super Heavy you wanted, but being able to add the Super Heavy Soul card is just as good. Let me play 3 of these, 3 scales. The rest of the deck is pretty standard for Super Heavies as far as I'm concerned. I would like to think of myself as one of the people who have been playing this deck the longest that you possibly could, considering I've been playing it since since the deck first came out. So I would like to think that my opinion is coming from lots and lots of experience, because this is the deck I've played the most. Anyways, 3 scales because this is another one of the best cards in the deck. It's a great extender, and it's something you always want to start with or have in your hand. And then 2 magnet, another really good extender that just special something from your hand. And we're playing 3 flutist. This card has dual roles. It special summons from your hand. You tribute it, special summon from your hand. So tribute itself, special summon a Super Heavy from your hand, and then in the graveyard it prevents targeting, or at least it negates a target. And then this battle trap guy. Not as relevant, but it does come in handy sometimes, being able to search it. And then we play 3 Trumpeteer, another one of the best cards in the deck, because as long as you don't have Spell or Trap in your grave, you just can special summon this over and over and over again. But this, you can only special summon Super Heavies after that. And then Battle Ball, as you all know, this card has pretty cool combos with Kaijus, because you can just take one of your opponent's monsters and synchro with it, as long as it's not a pendulum monster, because it has to go to the grave. And then the other kind of relevant cards that I'm playing one of. This card's pretty cool because in the grave, it is a very cool effect. You can just summon itself by targeting a synchro. And then this card is relevant because if your opponent were to declare a direct attack, you can banish this and then special summon a Super Heavy. Pretty good, but these cards don't come up as much. They're just nice to have. And then finally, the last Super Heavy Samurai is General Jade. I know I said this isn't like good to play prior, but there have been so many times where I have just had the Soul Peacemaker and like something irrelevant, and I just needed a big body on board, and I didn't have it in deck. So I just play one. When you brick with it, it happens. I guess if you open up like a flutist or something, you can summon it. But for the most part, you don't want to open this. I guess you can open it with Trumpeteer, and then you can make Susan. That's pretty good. But for the most part, you just want to play one of, because you're not trying to like aggro kill them with this guy or Benkei. It's a pretty combo heavy deck. On to the Soul. No pun intended. So these are the Soul cards, the Super Heavy Soul cards, and this is probably another one of the best cards in the deck because you can loop this over and over and over again. This is your Searcher. Just once it goes from field to grave, you can search any Super Heavy card in your deck. Then we're playing 3 Soul Peacemaker. This is arguably another one of the best cards in the deck. There are a lot of really good cards in this deck that can extend your plays and just win you the game. But this, you can attach it to a Super Heavy, tribute that card as cost, and then you special summon 1 Super Heavy from your deck. There's a 1-card combo involving that you're searching. And then defensive cards, Soulfire Suit. This is just your responsive defense in case your opponent tries to destroy stuff. This prevents it for the rest of the turn. And then these 2 cards for the last of the Super Heavy Samurai monsters. These are just one-ofs because you're really just trying to push your game with these. This one is probably my favorite because it allows it to attack twice, and this just doubles its defense when it attacks a monster. But both of these in unison usually is game. And a new addition here, Gofu. Pretty good starting off. Other than that, it's just a really good extender. The Kaiju package, because you can make relevant stuff with this. You can make the level 9 Synchro QB for some defensive plays. You can make Big Susan with Kamisio, my personal favorite. And then the ultimate play is using Jizukiru for Steam Train. And then hand traps. Ash, pretty self-explanatory. Ghost Ogre, y'all know I love this package. And Max C. And that's not all, folks. We have one final one, Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is pretty relevant considering that this deck is kind of slow and you need as much disruption as possible if you're going second. And this just gets you there, having 6 hand traps. It's pretty relevant. That's 40 cards in the main deck, 40 monsters, as you all know. On to the extra deck. So 1 Steam Train. You really don't need any more. You're usually trying to go for a game with this. 2 Big Susan. This is your bread and butter synchro monster. This gets to steal a spell or trap from your opponent's grave, and it's really big. QB. This thing can get really big if your opponent controls, well, let's say theoretically 6 monsters in there, 6 special summon monsters, then that's a pretty strong monster. You gain 5,400 defense from that. But that's never happening, but it can get pretty big. Saratobi, this is just your spot removal. Stealth Ninja, this is a cool card that can allow you to attack your opponent's life points directly. You just have to half the life, or half your defense for the rest of the turn. And 2 of your best spot removals. Harpy's Feather Duster for the deck. Ogre Shooting Doji, great card. Great card. And then the spicy Japanese tech that we also have not got yet. At one point in time, we were almost allowed to get this. It was going to be a Shonen Jump promo, but no one voted for it. Even though this card is generic, it's really good. What this card does is when this card is synchro summoned, you can target a machine monster in your graveyard and then put it back to your hand. But if you have any spell or traps in your grave, you can't use it for the rest of the turn. This deck has no spell or trap, so it can utilize this effect very well because you can just make this. You'll likely use it with Trumpeteer, grab back the Trumpeteer, special summon, and then you can go into the 7 because this by itself on an end board does nothing. So that is the Synchro lineup. 1 Girgan X. This is part of the 1-card combo with Daihachi. Just Daihachi gets you this and then gets you a next turn. A really good next turn. Castel for the spot removal. Baguska, just because it's a floodgate and you can easily make it in here. That's the Xyz, because you're not really making those all the time, but except for the Gigan X that you're making all the time, turn 1. Proxy Dragon for the Gofu. Mrs. Radiant, because your deck is full of Earths. And Deco Talker for the Gofu, which opens up your plays quite a bit. That's the deck profile, y'all. Like I said, this is mainly OCG cards that make this so relevant, i.e. the Daihachi. However, when we do get this card, even if we don't get Musashi, the level 5 Synchro Super Heavy, even if we don't get that card, as long as we get this card, this deck is going to go up in power. And I'm very much looking forward to getting these in the TCG, but we have no idea when we're going to get these. Let me know what you guys think of the profile down in the comments below. Let me know if you think I messed up anywhere, but I would like to think I put a lot of time and effort into this deck. But don't be afraid to rip me a new one. This is Alex and Plus your TCG, signing out, y'all.